Today we are going to see a new lesson in section A, which is chemical reactions and equations. This lesson contains various kinds of chemical reactions, rules to write these chemical reactions, how to balance these equations, and some types of chemical reactions. We have seen some of this in standard 9. It's a little detailed version in this lesson. Now, we have studied earlier that matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. And matter is of three types. They can either be elements, compounds, or mixtures. And we also know that elements are of further three types: metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Whereas compounds are nothing but two or more elements which are combined together in a fixed proportion of their masses. And mixtures are either two compounds or maybe elements and compounds mixed together in any proportion. Now we are asked to find out or know the difference between molecules of elements and molecules of compounds, and that is why I have taken this little slide here. You can see that the molecules of elements are made up of only one kind of atoms, whereas the molecules of compounds are made up of two or more kinds of elements. So we've got hydrogen element made up of two hydrogen atoms, similar with oxygen molecule and for chlorine molecule. These are called elements because they have only one kind of atoms. A molecule which has different types of atoms forms a compound. So we got water molecule here, two hydrogen and one oxygen, and hydrogen chloride with one hydrogen and one chlorine atom. Also in nature, we find that some molecules are monoatomic. That means in nature we find them single, alone, like helium, lithium, krypton. Whereas some atoms are diatomic. That means in nature we always find them two together, say like hydrogen, oxygen, and chlorine. And therefore they are represented as H2, O2, and Cl2, we shall see in reactions. And some atoms are polyatomic. That means more than two atoms. So like water, and here in this case also a phosphorus molecule. Now when two substances react with each other, they may bring about changes in each other. These kind of changes can be classified as either chemical change or physical change. We have done this also in a previous class. A physical change is one where no new substance is formed. For example, when ice melts into water, no new substance is formed. The molecules present in ice and the molecules present in water are the same. The composition of the matter remains the same. Such changes are just temporary. We can easily reverse the change. For example, we can put the water back into the freezer and it will change into ice. Another example is evaporation of water. We can evaporate the steam and cool it, and we can again convert it into water. Same way, sublimation, that is changing of a solid directly into gas without going through the liquid stage, is called sublimation. And therefore naphthalene balls, they become tiny because of the exposure to air, and due to the heat they will change from solid to gas. Breaking of glass, all these are just physical changes because no new substance is formed. At the same time, a chemical change is a change when new substances are formed. For example, ripening of fruit. Okay, there are chemical changes that take place, and we cannot reverse, we cannot make a ripe fruit raw again. Okay, same way cooking of food. When once the food is cooked, we cannot make it raw again. So new substances are formed, the composition of the matter changes, and such changes are permanent. And when such changes take place, generally sometimes maybe a gas may be evolved, the color may change, and so on. So we've got various examples here: ripening of fruit, milk changing into curd, digestion of our food in our stomach, and staining of the Shabbat tiles with lemon juice. We'll be discussing some of these later.